I got a surprise twist. You ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
Disney should buy Blizzard.
Disney should buy Blizzard.
Yes, that's the one.
First of all, if anyone's buying Roblox, my money is on Mark Zuckerberg to open up his wallet and buy Roblox, because I think that fits his metaverse vision.
Mario Kart World, 14 million units sold thus far. My take seems true. In 3 years, Battlefield 6 will not be the #1 game of 2025. It will be Mario Kart World.
But here's something, sorry, real quick on Roblox. You know, in 2024, Roblox lost $935 million, and in 2025, the company seems to have racked up about $4 billion in losses. It's a huge number.
Advertisers want to reach people that are 18 to 34. That's the magic number.
Nintendo knows we're just gonna make games. They're never gonna be as rich as Microsoft. They're never gonna be as rich as Sony. But like, they'll have their base, and their base will never move. Their base will put their kids in that base, and it will just continue to be a pure gaming company called Transmedia now.
So,
all right, let's move on.
All right, let's go.
Let's talk about your favorite topic.
Oh, you mean so you mean Nintendo? Just to kind of rattle off. So I remember late last year there was a lot of news stories and takes floating around that the Switch 2 didn't got outsold in America by PlayStation. Woe is me. Woe is me. What are they gonna do? So let me just rattle off some stats coming off the Nintendo earnings call. Net sales up 99% year over year. That sounds pretty good, right? Net profit up 51% year over year. Wow, that's not bad. Switch 2 hardware sales, 17 million units sold to date, with 7 million units alone during the holiday season. Wow, sold a lot of hardware, I would say, of that Switch 2. Switch software, almost 38 million units sold so far. And 58.7% of Nintendo games sold in Q3 were physical still. So people are still buying that physical media from Nintendo. And then just to kind of wrap a bow on it, Mario Kart World, 14 million units sold thus far. My take seems true. In 3 years, Battlefield 6 will not be the #1 game of 2025. It will be Mario Kart World. And it will be a trivia question asked at a bar. What was the top selling game of 2025? And everyone will say Battlefield 6. The right answer will be Mario Kart World. As it marches on to obscenely insane numbers in sales, 20, 35 million, 40 million, 50 million. It's just going to keep climbing as it keeps selling hardware. Donkey Kong, a respectable 4 million units sold. Pokemon ZA just on the Switch 2, almost 4 million units sold. Kirby Air Riders, almost 2 million units sold. So just Nintendo cooking, and we haven't gotten a 3D Mario yet. We haven't gotten a Zelda yet. We haven't gotten a Smash yet. The only A-list title they put on exclusive to the Switch 2 was Mario Kart.
And Donkey Kong, right?
Donkey Kong is B tier. They're trying to make, if Justin's there, come on, you know this. They're trying to make him A tier. God bless Nintendo. He's got to have a movie first. And then by the way, the movie's coming out this year. Did you see the Yoshi trailer? Thing was fire. Just like fire. Yeah, little Yoshi. He's trapped in a cave. They let him out. Becomes Fred. Toad doesn't like him.
What's he, a Pokemon that he could talk and say his name? Has he always been able to do that?
Yeah, Yoshi just says Yoshi, man. We just gotta get the cinematic universe where we get the. So I don't know if there's a real Nintendo heads on this or listen to this, but the real Yoshi out. We get Yoshi so we can get to Boshi, which is evil Yoshi. He's a blue Yoshi. He wears sunglasses that are dark. He's in one game called Mario RPG, my favorite RPG of all time. And he's evil Yoshi, much like Waluigi is evil Luigi and Wario is evil Mario. Those three need to be in a movie together. We need to see Boshi, Waluigi, and Wario in a movie. Let's go. But we'll wait till the
that, man. You can make it a Luigi Mansion type of movie where it's just all dark, really dark movie, and have the bad guys show up. I truly think this is what takes down Avengers as top box office grossing.
Oh, like a Nintendo Smash movie?
Yeah, I think if they built, first of all, if they're not building into this, like they're making a mistake, but they clearly are, right? And I think you have this live action Roger Rabbit-ish type of movie with Link in there and Zelda stuff, and I think
they're seriously going for like a Lord of the Rings thing. I was like shooting in New Zealand. It looks like Lord of the Rings.
We just watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit with our kids the other day. I don't know if you've watched that. First of all, don't watch it with your kids. It's an adult movie, not a kids movie.
Does it hold up?
What was that?
Does it hold up?
Oh yeah, it was great, man. It was fantastic. It was like, I feel like the only movie ever that had both Looney Tunes and Disney in it, and it was really fascinating to see Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse
Mickey?
having a conversation. And it's just like, kids loved it because it was fun. I mean, Jessica Rabbit is not kids friendly, but you know, that type of movie I feel like is just so cool. I think if Nintendo will do that, and I think it will take down the Avengers top gross off. I mean, every person of every age has some sort of affinity to Nintendo, whether it be my dad, who I used to play Dr. Mario with on the NES, right? Or my kids who love every Nintendo game that comes out, right? Like, it spans every generation, I think more so than comics. And I just think it's going to do something wild in the box office.
There you go. That's a good take. I like it. I just think like all they need to do to make Mario 2 movie make $1 billion was just put Yoshi in it. That's it. They didn't do anything else. Just put Yoshi in there. And that's $1 billion movie right there, right?
Um, Thanks, Tim. Yeah, there's Tim talking about Jessica Rabbit playing patty cake. I could tell you my kids, as well as his friends, are more excited about Bowser Jr. Is that it? Bowser Jr., right?
Oh yeah, Bowser
Than
Jr.
Yoshi. I think, you know, you got this the bad side of things, and I think kids are excited about that.
My son loves Bowser Jr. He calls him
Yeah.
Baby Bowser. So shout out to Bowser Jr. He does. He's excited that he has the paintbrush and the kind of the mask on his face. The whole yeah. Well, look, we'll know what the movie is, but I expect it to be gangbusters. But yeah, Nintendo doing the opposite. And you know what they're not into? AI capex spend. They're just cruising on,
I still
doing
love that stuff.
they're they're an entertainment company at the end of the day, and they're making entertainment in their IP, right? So, and they happen to make hardware. And I guess the biggest risk to them and the Steam, I'm sure you saw the Steam Cube got pushed back to an undisclosed date, first half of this year, is like the cost of memory and the cost of chips is going to go up. So the pain's going to be felt across the rest of the consumer electronic ecosystem. It's not just everything runs on this stuff, everyone, like memory and like everything. Chips go up, everything is going to go up. It's going to be an inflationary thing.
I'm excited to see if the next generation of hardware gets delayed, and what Nintendo did by releasing early will do for them. I think it was a amazing and well played timing for them, right? Who would have seen the chip shortage coming, inflation? I mean, I guess we kind of saw it coming, but like, the fact that they were able to get something out there, and I think Sony and I think Microsoft just said they plan for 27 for their next release, and I don't think that's going to happen. But what do I know? But I think Nintendo
I
put
mean,
themselves in such a good spot to be ready, right? And people don't care about the console power anymore. I mean, you do when you're like our level, right? Like, hey, I love this idea of console power. But the truth is, to your point, like, Nintendo banks off their IPs. They make games, and that's what the people want. They want to play games. Microsoft, to your point, fighting for power, AI, who's using these technologies. Even Sony's getting into this live service kind of drag down. I don't know if you saw the New Horizons, right? They're going back for that kind of PvP type of play. But like, Nintendo knows we're just going to make games. They're never going to be as rich as Microsoft. They're never going to be as rich as Sony, but like, they'll have their base, and their base will never move. Their base will put their kids in that base, and it will just continue to be a pure gaming company. Well, transmedia now.
well, speaking, I want to dovetail the last thing, which is the Disney news. But I would say this: if Disney could rewind the clock 20 years, they would have bought Nintendo. If not assuming Nintendo was even for sale, because that's the IP that they're yearning for to kind of continue on the Disney march over the next 20, 30 years, is something like a Nintendo, which has that IP. But yeah, I mean, look, Nintendo's got quite the moat, man. Don't tell me that. I totally agree, and I see it with my kids. I see it with me, and like, yeah, they got that generation. But hey, I'm the one that put those on the rundown, and I specifically want to talk about one thing I saw. So the Disney CEO changed, and I'll let you kind of kick it off. But the commentary from the entertainment industry via other podcasts, like this podcast called The Town from a guy named Matt Bellinelli, just drew me up the wall with how they talked about gaming. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, guys. Like, it's just like bang my head in the wall. But I want you to set it up for those who don't know about Disney's corporate hierarchy or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
Disney's always a fascinating one, right? So Bob Iger, their current CEO, announced his replacement, who's going to be Josh D'Amaro. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Tomorrow, yeah,
And
tomorrow.
this is the second time Bob Iger is being replaced by the person that's in charge of the theme parks, which is a fascinating choice that they still go with that. And there's a lot of stories about Bob Iger and how he controls the company and runs the company and is proud of what he built. But it's also known to Disney that they need to move on and start thinking about that. So they announced Josh D'Amaro, and I watched part of his press conference, and it's funny because they got into the talk of generative content and putting their models out there, and he's very for it. It seems like, and it's a fascinating approach, which I want to pick your brain about. It's the same thing in Nintendo. Like, is this a good move or bad move to start letting content creators or just creators who are using things on the internet to start generating this content with Elsa and Moana and all your Disney characters that you want?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I think, well, on top of overseeing the parks, I think you should call out the overseas gaming because that's where they shoved gaming in the Disney org. It's not under anything else. It's under experiences, and gaming is considered an experience. So he actually is the one that oversees and manages the Epic Games Fortnite relationship. So when you say that to me, Amelia Head goes, I think he's probably talking about like, yeah, they have the test case with OpenAI. I think they just they'll take the equity. It's a short-term deal. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Right at the end of the day, you're putting guardrails on things, quote unquote. Like, and also, I'm not naive. It's going to happen anyways. Just see what YouTube did. They just took content and hosted content that was clearly pirated until they got so big that no one could really stop it. Right. So at least you're not ignoring the future as it's happening in front of you. Would be my broader take. Although I don't like where that goes for content creators and rights holders, but I just also know like people gonna steal, man, and I don't see anyone stopping the theft, right? Either. I just see the same thing happening again that happened with YouTube. Same thing,
Yeah,
right?
it'll be interesting. I mean,
This
again, Disney went down this route before. They've replaced Bob Iger before, but I watched this whole documentary on it. How even when Bob Iger stepped down, like he played a big role on the board. And anytime the other Bob, I forgot his name, Bob
Chapek, yeah.
right? Every time he wanted to make a change, Bob Iger would make the board kind of push against that change. And will it be different this time? I'm sure things are set up differently because Disney's more aware of what might happen, but
Well, and they're more of I think a lot of the analysts I've read or heard about talk about this is they're actually more of an experienced company now than they were 5 or 10 years ago. Like it's the parks business that's holding the whole company. Like he's making hand over fist money in parks. They're investing a crazy amount of money into more cruises, more parks, more experiences because that's their main moat differentiator. Because I live in LA, I get to experience a new Disneyland. I think it's called Forward something. I'm not a hardcore Disney guy, but I know they're like putting a lot of money into the park, maybe building a third park there. But like, awesome, because that's where people are. And like, I I always joke that like life is basically the experiences that we have in modern society could be basically boiled down to the Disneyland experience, which is like you're the standby person where you get in the park, you pay your ticket, and you have to wait and sacrifice a huge amount of your time to get on a single ride, right? So you might ride like 4 rides a day because each ride takes you about 50 minutes to get on, right? Because you're just in this queue just going through, right? Then the people that get on the ride faster at the same time are the people that have the lightning pass. That costs more money to on your ticket. It might be $60 per person per day per ticket, right? To get that extra bit. But what you get to do is you get to go on an app and set your time to go on the ride. You're like, yep, I'm going to go on the ride at 11 o'clock. So you just kind of mince around. 11 o'clock, you go in, you scan, you get on the ride right away. So you're not waiting in line. You're kind of waiting outside of the line, but you're still waiting, right? But you still get to cut ahead. You get to plan your day, and you probably get to ride more rides, right? So that's kind of the middle tier, and then the high tier, the kind of the 1%ers or less than the 5.05 is I call them the Disney Sherpa. I think everyone calls them that, right? There's these plaid vesting people, cast members as they call them. They walk around with a little like tour guide thing. You're like, who are these people following this person? They're the Sherpas. They get you whatever you want. You're like, hey, I'm gonna go, and you pay an outrageous amount of money for like 3 hours of their time, right? You're like, I want to eat at this restaurant. I want to go see Walt Disney's like private apartment. I want to go on these 3 rides. You get to do whatever you get to want to do. There's basically buying like a blank ticket to experience Disney however you want to, right? And that's like that one. I think like it's like how society sadly is now. It's like, yeah, you have stand buyers, your lightning pass, and your Sherpa. So I look at that new CEO and I say, hey man, can you fix the app? Like my one thing, can you fix the app? As a Disney customer on Disney Plus who goes to the parks once in a while, twice a year usually, to some sort of a Disney experience, and who might be interested in reading ESPN for fantasy football reasons. Can you just make it one app? Like or one login, right? Like I don't want to have a Disney World app, a Disneyland app, a Disney Plus app, have a shopping account, and have and an ESPN account all kind of in their own thing. Like I just want it to be one thing. So if they can do anything, do that. But I will end on the gaming side, and I'll let you jump in, man. Gaming, the commentary was now if Disney spins off their cable assets with their new CEO, which is what everyone assumes they're going to do, sell off ESPN and everything else, they can use that money to finally get in gaming. They should buy Roblox or Fortnite. And I'm like, I just want to bang my head in the wall. I mean, like, and I might write about this like next week or the week after. One, Disney isn't gaming, and they're pretty successful at licensing. It's expensive to take the Disney license for Star Wars or Marvel, but there are plenty of IP out there and games that exist that are using the licenses that Disney owns to make very successful games. So because they don't own game development doesn't mean they don't have a foothold in gaming. I think that's just like a misleading thing to say. They make money via licensing in gaming, and they offload all the risk to the developers and publishers. And if it doesn't work out, they just take their license back and give it to someone else. Simple as that, right?
Yeah, that's
Marvel.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a tricky one, right? Because if you do you know how Dunkin' or do you know how Subway operates? The
Yeah,
franchise.
franchises. Yeah.
But the franchises aren't dictated by Subway Global or corporate. Meaning, if there's a $5 footlong sale going on and you're an owner of a Subway, you don't have to do that. And because of that, it makes a very broken corporate. I don't know what the word I want to use here, right? Because you might have this one-off franchise that doesn't want to follow the rules and they're allowed to. And I think it's a broken experience. And I think gaming is quite similar, where you're giving the keys to the kingdom to another studio, and if they screw it up, it's screwing up your IP. And yes, you can change. I mean, I go back to the early days of Sony or EA and Star Wars, right? Battlefront 2, you love it, you hate it. I think they did good by it by the end of the day. But you had a lot of loud voices that were coming in and complaining about it. And I think they risk licensing out that IP to tarnish it. But I get your point as well, where like why do we have to risk it, right? The IP will be fine. We'll just give it to someone else to take care of. That's the thing that comes
Like
to mind when you're saying it.
Square Enix made an awful Avengers game. Sorry, Square Enix, but I did not like it personally. They made a good Guardians game, but Disney basically pulled those licenses and gave them completely to Sony now, who's making the expanded Marvel Universe first player games with Wolverine coming out this year, right? So it's not like they don't do anything. They make very successful partnerships that kind of offload the risk of IP. But like, should they buy Roblox? I am the camp of no. Like, did you want any of them like noise around Roblox? Does Disney need that heat? No, I think that's a terrible idea to buy Roblox. Do they need to buy Fortnite? What are you getting with Fortnite? Would be the question. They already are in Fortnite with their license, with their deal with Epic, so you get to experience Disney characters inside Fortnite, right, regularly. What else would they be getting out of that? It seems like a headache to me, but I got a surprise twist because I came to a company they should buy. Greg, this is gonna tie a bow on everything. You ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
Disney should buy Blizzard.
Disney should buy Blizzard.
Yes, that's the one. If it was for sale, if Microsoft needs the money and they were spinning off, that's my hot take. They should buy Blizzard. They have IP that is outside of Diablo, not super serious. Wow, I could see it working. They're in Anaheim, down the road, right across the street from Disneyland. They should buy Blizzard. That's the one.
I don't know. I gotta think that one through. I'm not ready to comment on that. That's first of all, if anyone's buying Roblox, my money is on Mark Zuckerberg to open up his wallet and buy Roblox, because I think that fits his metaverse vision that I don't think he's chasing anymore, but I think that fits it much more properly than
it's
that.
more ad inventory for him, and he can monetize it way better than Roblox can.
But here's something. Sorry, real quick on Roblox. Lewis wrote a great article about Roblox this week, so thank you, Lewis. But do you know in 2024, Roblox lost $935 million, and in 2025, the company seems to have racked up about $4 billion in losses. Is that wild to you?
It's a big number.
It's a huge number. I thought they were crushing the game, and maybe they're also crushing the game at MAU or daily active users, right? But they don't know how to monetize it yet.
They don't know how to monetize. And to your point about Meta, I mean, if regulators allow it to happen, which they won't, not the EU, that's not happening. He's too much of a pariah now. But like that, he could definitely monetize the heck out of Roblox more than they can. In a manner that would respect the fact that the challenge with monetizing, as someone who worked in advertising with Roblox, is the fact they're all kids and you can't really advertise. There's a lot of legalness with kids. That's the challenge they have at Roblox, is how do you advertise to kids in a primarily kid environment. There's not enough advertisers trying to reach people under the age of 18 to kind of warrant the expense it takes to running Roblox. That's the nature of it. Advertisers want to reach people that are 18 to 34. That's the magic number. That's it. 18 to 34. That's what they want to reach because your identity is formed in those years. You're impressionistic on brands. You build these lifelong relationships with like Charmin toilet paper and etc. Like that's why that demo matters. And once you're past that demo, you've already calcified into I shop at Target. I do this, I do that. I already have my brands, and so you're harder to wrangle through or wrangle out. So they focus all their attention on that demo, and Roblox isn't that demo.